Hi, welcome to the step-to-step guide on how to create your own plant ecosystem. Let's get straight into it. I used a fish tank which was broken, had a crack in it. I repaired the crack and I used that as my container. Next, I added the drainage layer. Could be stones or pebbles. It acts as a layer for drainage to prevent water from pooling at the bottom, which can lead to root rot. So this is very important in any terrarium you build. Carefully pour the stones in and even them out very evenly. Next, I added a mesh for substrate barrier. I added a piece of mesh over the stones that acts as a barrier to keep the soil from mixing from the drainage layer, which keeps the terrarium clean. Next, I added a sand substrate for decoration. To make it decorative, I added a layer of sand over the mesh. You can play with different colors to match your style. Fun fact, sand can also help with the drainage and added a unique aesthetic. I believe your terrarium should be personal to you. I personally like the sand effect to it, so I always put sand at the bottom of my terrariums. Next, we're going to add some terrarium soil. So I got mine from B&Q. It's a very good mix. I've used it before. Make sure the mix you got is suitable for the plants you use. People do a blend of soil and sand, but I personally put the soil on top of the sand, and it gives your plants a strong foundation to grow. As I said, I've used this one before, and plants have grown very good in it. It's very cheap from B&Q. As I said, you can use any type of soil in your terrarium. I use a utensil to even it out to ensure that the layers are all even and the roots will be evenly shared out. So that was my soil for my terrarium. Moving on to the next piece now is my personal little favorite piece, is adding a centerpiece. Just to make it decorative. For a centerpiece, you can choose a natural rock, but ensure it fits the height of your terrarium. Obviously, mine's very big, so I used a rock for the inside, and also I had a bark which I had from Amazon, and this gave it a natural feel, just some wood and some stone, just to make that natural forest type of feeling. So I felt that was good. So next, I went on to add the plants, which is the most crucial part of the ecosystem, but it's a plant ecosystem. Various plants, some succulents. This will bind with the moss. So I took time. With the plants, you have to ensure that they're bedded into the soil. So this is a very important part. So to ensure the roots grow and have a firm base. So you have to take your time not to damage the plant, but at the same time, get it firmly embedded into the soil. You got some cactuses there. The red one caught my eye, so that will be at the front of the terrarium. One of my personal favorites. I said you can use any plants. You can even use cuttings of your favorite plants around your house or when you're out and about. You can use cuttings, but you have to know how to do it. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm just using a lot of plants which thrive in these type of environments. So that's the type of plants I used, and the reason I put the centerpiece in, then you can kind of map out and ensure you got good spacing for your plants. And the next part after the plants is a very, very, very important part, is adding springtails. Yes, these are springtails, little white insects, and they keep your ecosystem clean. Tiny insects that help break down organic matter and prevent mold. These little helpers can make your terrarium self-sustaining. So always add springtails to your terrarium, and they will help to keep it clean. And it gives you that there's some actual real life in your terrarium apart from the plants. So it makes it really good, and I find it very interesting. Next, I added dry and wet moss. This is more for that forest feeling, different contrasts. You got dry and you got wet moss. So I started with the dry moss, nice green effect, With dry moss, you can revive it by watering it, which we'll do later on in the video. So I feel like this dry moss is very green and gives it that forest effect. So this is one of my personal favorites. Nice and easy. It's good to have a good utensil to use. And the next was some dry moss. I picked this up in B&Q as well. No, some wet moss, apologies. I picked this up in B&Q. And again, it adds that different type of effect, different contrast between the dry and the wet moss. And it gives it a very good earthy smell to your terrarium. And as you can see, the terrain is starting to come along very well. So as I said, take your time, have a utensil big enough for your terrarium, and ensure that you space out everything very nicely. So, yep, as you can see, terrain is starting to come along now. Next is adding water. Don't pour water in or don't overwater your terrarium. You just want to lightly spray it to ensure there's moisture in there. As I said, it's a big terrarium, so I can add a little bit more. But depending on your size, do not drench it. You just want the soil to be moist. That's enough. It will produce its own water, because this is going to be a sealed container, so it will produce its own water. So ensure not to soak it and waterlog it. And always use a spray bottle. Don't pour water directly into it. So let's see how the project looks. After everything, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with the outcome of it. And I can add new plants or new insects or new stuff over time. So that's the good thing about terrarium. But sometimes you want to let it grow and see how it gets on naturally. So yeah, there you have it. My terrarium is built and I'm pretty happy with it. And we will give some updates when it happens. This is it in my office. Here's a couple of snapshots of it. That's a bird's eye view. And yeah, so let me know what you think about the video. As I said, it's in my office now. This is its new home. Let me know in the comment section if you liked it, any ideas you want me to do. Please like and subscribe and comment. And thank you for watching the video. Take care of yourself. Any advice, drop me a comment.